Hi guys, the following video is about finding a factorized equation for a parabola from a graph. Enjoy! Finding the equation of a parabola but in its factorized form. So there's a few things we need to start off with. What we need, first of all, we need to write down the x-intercepts. Then we need to find the y-intercept. And then we need to identify if this graph is positive or negative. And then we need the multiplying factor. So there's four things we need to find to be able to write down the equation of this parabola in its factorized form. Right, so let's start with the first part, which is the x-intercepts. We know that with parabola, when writing down the x-intercepts, we need to write down the opposite symbol of where it is on the axis set. The opposite of where it is. So my x-intercept, the first one is at 5, so therefore my x-intercept is going to be at -5, as well as it's at -2 here, so -5 and 2. That is my first step. My second step is I need to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept when looking at a factorized equation should be the same as the x-intercept multiplied by each other. So -5 times 2 gives me -10. So therefore, I can see that the y-intercept is actually at 20 and not at -10. So before we find the y-intercept, we need to carry on to step 3. Step 3 is the graph positive or negative? Because it's upside down, we can say that this graph is negative. Now we go on to step 4, which is the multiplying factor. So the way we find the multiplying factor is we need to identify what else I need to get the correct y-intercept. As you can see here, my y-intercept is at 20 that we identified, and my two x-intercepts is at -5 and 2. At this stage, -5 multiplied by 2 is equal to 10. What I need to find is I need to figure out how I'm going to get from 10 to 20. The way I do that is I multiply 10 by 2. Now to combine all of this information to write down the equation in its factorized form. We know that when we write equations down for parabolas, we start with if it is a positive or a negative graph. I've identified that this graph is negative. So I'm going to start with my negative there. I've identified that my multiplying factor, which is my a value, is 2. I'm going to write down my 2. Then when I get into my factorized equation, I know that a factorized equation has 2 sets of brackets. Inside my bracket, I've got my x value. And when I write down my x-intercept, I do it the opposite symbol than what it is on the graph, which in this case is -5 and +2. And that is how you find a factorized equation for a parabola. I hope this clip helped. If it did, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with anyone it could possibly help. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Also, please find the link to parabolas in their factorized form over here. See you next time. Bye!